Lumen, and this is StarCraft 2. What I have for you here is a game from the Discord server. It's supposed to be a cheesy game. I don't know who wins or loses, so we're going to take that journey together. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. Even though this is cheese, I'm going to try to get to the good parts. We have Ping playing as the Terran forces in the upper right-hand corner, and Ibri in the bottom left-hand corner playing as the protoss. Curious. Yeah, so I don't know these two individuals, but it should be a fun game. I don't know what the rankings are. You can go ahead and take guesses in the comments below. And let's find out what happens here. Both sides decide to scout early, which is pretty good strategy. We get double gas on the Protoss side. This looks like, I'm guessing the Protoss is the one that's going to be doing the cheese here. Is this going to be a forge followed by a cannon rush? We do have a cybernetics core and a gateway that's up, but no forge just yet. So Terran looks like they are going with a command center upgrade with a barracks not walling off completely with a single gas. So this might just be a 1-1-1 opener. Here we go. All right. Early pylon on, or proxy pylon against Ping. Ping has not scouted this. We have a cheesy Stargate. That's what we're going for. That explains the double gas, and looks like we have a adept that's going to be running across the map as fast as possible, versus this Reaper who is also going as fast as possible to harass and scout the enemy base. Double command center going up, so if this economy can last, it will be drawn out into a longer game. Unless the Protoss is capable of either fighting back or catching up in that economy. And from here on out, when I say the economy, or like do a comparison number, such as 20 to 22, the first number is going to be the Terran versus the Protoss. So currently workers are at 22 to 22, one base on each. The command center is still being built, so the economy is just about equal. With nothing to defend this against. However, it looks like this Reaper is going to have a grand old time. Oh, there we go. We have the Adept that's back here to try to shoot that Reaper away. Another Adept is going straight forward. Ooh, is he going to go around? The Reaper is going to jump down to the lower ground, and does he get away? Does he get away? Oh, he does get away. That has got to be the strangest. I guess Protoss just wasn't paying attention here for just a little too long, and letting that Reaper get away with 3, 4, 5 hit points. One more hit from either one of those two Adepts would have spelled the end. So, is this Reaper going to scout this? Where did the Reaper go? There he is. Reaper's just chilling over here, using that health regen bonus. 26 to 24 workers. And now we have 2 command centers for the Terran. That's really, this is going to be an all-in with Marines. Now the advantage that the Terran do have with a one base all-in like this is that they are able to have something that can shoot up, versus Protoss and Terran, or Protoss and Zerg, kind of have a little bit of a difficulty. Like, yeah, the Zerg has queens, which you can just pump out queens, and they are spellcasters. They're very tanky, very durable. Terran is going to now be aware that the Protoss does have some sort of air capabilities, with that Oracle going in there and poking, and it wasn't some sort of illusion. So we might see a response of missile towers on the Terran side, is what my advice would be. Is once you start seeing that, you definitely need to go in some way, shape, or form capable of fighting off that air toss army. But this is rough. A Tempest comes out, so this is going to be a really hard siege, especially since we have a shield battery defending this. I mean, start pumping out a couple shield batteries and Tempests. This is going to be very difficult for the Terran to shake off, unless the Terran decide to attack right now, which they are unaware of. Let's see. Do they know nothing about this? So this is going to be a rough awakening for the Terran side, especially considering that there's no missile turrets coming up, no real air defense coming up aside from these Marines. A starport is coming up now, but that is going to be under siege here really quickly. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be brutal. Double Tempest coming up here, laying siege against the Terran forces. What can the Terran do against this? Leave your comments below. If you were Terran and you were found yourself in this position with an... he's just mining right here. This is disrespectful. Just like, yeah, you know, I'm going to build a full-on Nexus. I'm going to build a second... I'm going to build my second base on your doorstep. The Reaper comes in here, gets to scout it, but this is... I love that Adept just chill and be like, yeah, you know, shoot me with those pea shooters. I don't care. I got shield batteries for days. Really rough spot for the Terran forces. This is going to be really difficult to shake off. A Protoss cannon does get shut down. Terran tries to defend against this, knocking out a pylon. How much would that pylon actually affect things? 48 out of 78 supply for the Protoss forces, so that's not going to have too much of an impact. Running away from the Tempest normally does not help you very much, but those Tempests are defended by shield batteries, so this is... you need a lot of firepower to handle this. I don't know if Medivacs are necessarily the unit of choice here. We need some Vikings on the map if they are going to like start actually taking out some of these Tempests and having to like deal with this. Deciding to go against the shield batteries is definitely a good move to allow you to overcome like a little bit of those defenses here, but 3 shield batteries are up and they are charging anytime those units are not getting attacked. This is a rough fight. Don't know how much of a Cyclone is going to help it or change things, but they better get a lock on and they better actually start doing some damage. Doesn't look so... oh, breaching the shields. One Tempest going away, trying to... hey, we actually might see a Tempest go down. One Tempest does go down. That is a pretty hard loss. 1/3 of your forces going down here, and that shook up the Protoss just a little bit, but not enough. We need some more forces hitting the ground. And Terran looks like the Terran is for sure. Is that going to be a missile turret? No, it's going to be a supply depot. 68 out of 86 for the Terran supply. 26 to 15 army supply in comparison. A wall of Protoss cannons. If those cannons go up, that's probably going to be the end of any kind of assault against this. This is going to be heavily fortified by multiple shield batteries. Tempest offering even more defense. Oh man, this has got to be frustrating for the Terran player too, because the Terran is now even... well, we have some like SCVs here that are just chilling. They're just scared. They just want to surrender. Like a couple of Tempests back here could start harassing the mineral line and actually reducing the Terran economy. But the Terran economy does have those mules available, but probably stressed out and trying to deal with everything that's going on. This isn't easy to try to juggle. Utilizing that high ground may be the best thing you can do as the Terran force here, and in fact, that actually... oh, that worked out really well. Hold on a second. Oh. Do Eric... wait a second. Huh. That was interesting. Good play by the Terran. Trying to fight that off as much as possible. We're going to skip forward just a little bit. Great decision here by the siege tank. Those Tempests are going to need to take out that siege tank as fast as possible. SCVs or mules, come on. Need to get in there before the next wave. If that siege tank was pretty much the only option, although moving the siege tank back just a little bit to be able to do damage just on the front line here and whittle down those shield batteries without being in range of the Tempest, putting them on the range of the up on the front here. Although it sounds like a good idea because then you do have all these options to attack. You don't need to. Right there. Shields. Siege up. Nope. And there you go. Yeah. Because if the siege tank is back there providing pressure, then the Marines can actually defend the siege tank, and now the Protoss is in a situation where they have to decide to go after the siege tank and take damage, or try to weather the storm or the bullet storm from the Marines. So this is, again, really rough fight here. Hard to decide this on your feet. Mass Marines are coming in here to knock down this Terran or this Protoss base, and they are doing a very good job. Medivacs are keeping those Marines up. Even probes get sent off the line. 47 to 23 workers, actually. Not including mules. Terran is... I mean, this is good. Good job, Terran, for fighting back. Losses are almost equal. Terran did suffer more losses on 2 bases. Both sides are on 2 bases, but only one side is actually utilizing the resource collection of both of those bases. We have a fleet beacon coming up, meaning we're probably going to see carriers. No carriers just yet. A second Stargate is up to help increase the unit production. And really, these Tempests haven't gotten a lot of work done. They've just now knocked down one of the production facilities of the Terran player, which means that you're just going to have fewer Marines coming out now. But the Terran player is ahead on the economy, and actually has the economy to be able to do something, or to continue fighting this. Mixed feelings about the decision of staying in here. Some, again, missile turrets or anything right here. Cyclones would be able to also outrange these Tempests. Now these Tempests are realizing that they are effectively doomed. They're going to need to do something with it, and instead they're going to attack the army and go down. Their only choice. GG is called by the Protoss player. Rough. This was a fantastic game for both sides. This was an amazing opening that did great harassment. Needed to really focus on that Terran economy so the Terran couldn't fight back. A little bit of a missed opportunity there, being able to move around here with a couple of Tempests and just poke and harass and cause the Terran unit to have to, or the Terran commander here, to focus on multiple things going on. That lack of attack of the economy allowed the Terran to really hunker down and maximize as much mining on both of those bases as possible, and fight back with just the ground unit of Marines, which Marines are, I don't want to say they're OP, but they're so versatile. It's really difficult to argue against them. Like, when in doubt, like, you can just throw if you can throw an endless supply of Marines at something, you're probably eventually going to win. It's hard to stop that force. Like Zerglings, a wall of Zerglings, you can basically knock down the Zerglings before they get to you because they're a melee unit. Terran, on the other hand, because of that ranged ability, they can be a couple rows back and really focus on that. Really good fight. I'm going to go back and do a little bit of a battle breakdown here for this match, because this 10-minute game deserves a little bit more of an analysis than just a quick walkthrough. I'm going to unpause it. We're going to fast forward here, and we're going to see if we can break down even further the economy of both sides. Now, Protoss does have map control. Protoss is capable of expanding, but that requires more mental energy. All the focus is being done here on making sure that this takes off really well. Good focus on resources and good spending on the resources. I never really saw those jump up too much unless there was a fight, and both sides were trying to basically micromanage some sort of fight in order to claim victory on the battlefield here. We have a forge coming up here. Mixed feelings on having a forge on your your forward attack base. No, since no carriers did come out on the field, the fleet beacon. Well, the fleet beacon does like help with research stuff, so that was that was helpful here. Let's see what else we got. Tempest, great ranged unit. I have not seen a game that does this kind of cheese, so I really enjoyed this fight, as well as a good use of the shield batteries. Shield batteries, is that in range? Got to be careful with the range of being in range, or having those shield batteries be in range of any kind of like attacking unit on the upper ground here. Again, siege tanks for the Terran player, trying to, because you don't need to be able to attack everything on this base. You only need to harass and just inch forward, just like deny them that mineral line, which it's impossible to know if like this is the Protoss third base, or if a third base is coming up on this. But you want to try to do that long-lasting damage, and so doing damage against constant harassment will keep those shield batteries low. Destroying drones limits the economy of your opponent. This attack here probably would have been wise for the Terran to come up here and just constantly top that off and keep that going. Even though it would cost minerals, I think the repair cost is like 25% of the original unit. So definitely want to maximize on that as much as possible. That's one of the biggest advantages the Terrans do have. Now, again, so that shield battery was keeping those adepts topped off, but that damage was being done at preventing the shield battery from having that energy, which could be used for a later fight. Good back and forth combat with your adepts are doing a good job poking and trying to whittle down this force as much as possible. Stemming to move forward loses a little bit of that potential damage bonus opportunity, but it's still effective, and this Terran player is doing a great job here just keeping this Protoss player at bay. Good job with the adepts, using them as a defensive force. A few more might have helped make sure, because especially as the Protoss, and if you can get an observer out or scout this and see what the Terran forces are doing, you can counter that appropriately. The Cyclone here was a good choice by the Terran player to try to outrange and be able to harass the Tempests. Supported by Marines, a great decision here. Man, this was one of the Tempests. That hurts because that is 1/3 of your firepower that's going down. But again, we have shield batteries here that help out with that. This is just a really good response here by the Terran player to try to get Cyclones out in order to basically have that artillery, that very fast moving artillery in attack here. Terran really did need to keep an SCV over here to top these guys off, because the amount of resources you save from having to build that again is a pretty big deal. Here we do have SCVs coming off the supply line in order to start repairs. I think you can just take a SCV, right click on the repair function, and it'll automatically start repairing. This wall off here would have been amazing. Any kind of wall, like an actually effective wall off here, so that way they have to like fight. They have to like constantly destroy units in order to like make it into this line, is a smart choice. This was great, especially this layered of photon cannons, where even though they get through one photon cannon, they still have others to deal with. Both sides here are spending their resources as much as possible. Army supply is pretty even. Like right now we have 22 to 20. Workers is 42 to 28. It is actually pretty incredible that this Protoss was able to like just handle this so well. Or actually both sides, like, I mean, this is just frustrating for both. For the Protoss side, trying to juggle this and utilizing these Tempests and maximizing their potential as much as possible can be difficult, because you're constantly dealing with like the Cyclone over here and the Marines being able to harass you and like counterattack. But all of this constant firing is costing the Terran more and more. That was a hard loss there. What else we got? 2 more shield batteries coming up. Let's see. There's that extra Stargate. More coming in. Protoss. Not having that economy did hurt the Protoss here, especially if the Protoss was able to have 2 saturated bases back here and really elevate. Here we go. We have that being researched, and really elevate this map control, because that's what this is. This is map control. This prevents the Terran from going past this, from expanding. This is an attacking point that the Terran have to deal with. They cannot ignore this. Really good fight. This is just really fun. It's amazing, actually, that the Terran decides to build a command center here. This Terran player is definitely better than I am, but little things, like I said, like sieging up just a little bit to inch attack would have definitely served him better. And that was a good choice right there. Like, trying to siege up, but those Tempests were able to just like knock out or create that attack. And again, unattacked, unharassed supply right here. Like, the the Terran here didn't even build any missile turrets, which is just surprising. Tempest back here, just a couple of them, would have been, even just one, would have been enough to cause the Terran to constantly have to split their forces back here to prevent the Tempest from actually doing real damage. But instead, because of all the concentration of forces and the lack of harassment in the back area, the Terran was able to concentrate their forces and attack this as much as possible. So, and because this is a forward mining base, that does give Terran the ability to attack the economy right on their doorstep. And that's, yeah, that hurts the Protoss player here. And again, like, being able to really maximize this. But this is just great harass. If this was built anywhere else, you'd be able to just constantly pump out those probes and really take advantage of this, like, advantage here. But Terran, so up to 24, so we have 16. Two of those workers are not doing anything. The mules are, but 24 is the maximum return that you're going to get for any kind of like worker. Basically, 3 workers per mineral. Like the 16 number here is 2 workers per mineral patch, and for 2.5 workers per mineral patch has a diminished return, and 2.5 to 3 workers per mineral patch has an even further diminished return. So, but both of these are eating out as much as possible. Yeah, this definitely is rough for the Protoss. I have a hard time really seeing a good recovery from this because there is no economy to really back it up. This would have been a hard fight because now the Terran has 3 command centers. They have the resources to be able to move these command centers over and build up. So this was a wise, I think, withdraw from the game by the Protoss player, because this gets cleaned up, air production gets cleaned up. They don't have anything back here. They have nothing to really, not too much to show for it. But again, and the reason why the Protoss, like all of these attacks, didn't really hurt the Terran. They fought the army down, but the Terran was able to continue to really build up behind this and have a really strong economy. Like, yeah, they were able to perform weapons research. They were able to build another command center off of a 2 base. They were able to constantly build supply depots in order to constantly increase their supply. 1 barracks going down for all of this fighting and stress didn't help the Protoss, especially since the Protoss was also trying to build defenses here that kept going down with these mineral attacks. So rough game there. And yeah, GG. I hope everybody had fun watching this and a little bit of the battle breakdown and a little bit of this tactics. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.